Hello, friends. All right, we are on lesson 26 vocabulary. So, the vocabulary words for this week are confused, and that means unable to understand what is happening. And in Spanish is confundido. It sounds a little bit like it, right? Our next word is sensible, and that's showing good judgment. This word is a cognate and it's spelled exactly the same way in Spanish, and it's sensible. Our next word is control, and that's the power to make things happen the way you want them to. This is also a cognate. It's also spelled the same way in Spanish, and it's control. Our next word is suspiciously, and that means in a way that shows you do not trust someone or something. And in Spanish, this one is sospechosamente. It's a long word. And it kind of sounds the same. The next one is training. And this means the process of being taught something or of preparing for something. And in Spanish is el entrenamiento. So it kind of has a little bit of the word training in there. Our next one is cage, and that means an enclosure made with wire or bars meant to keep something inside. And in Spanish, this is called la jaula. And then the last one is ordinary, and that's average or common, not special. This is also a cognate. It's not spelled the same in Spanish, but it is ordinario. We also use the word común, which comes from common, and that one sounds a little bit the same when we use those words interchangeably. The story today doesn't have stories, but the one on Thursday will. I just want you to get into the habit of also listening to fluent reading so that when I ask you questions, you can respond by listening to it and not being, what's the word? Just looking at the pictures, right? We really have to focus and listen, especially as you're going to be third graders and you're going to have to do that a lot. All right. So this story is called Diego's Double Surprise. All right. It says Diego sat on his bed in his room. He felt surprised and very confused. His parents had just told him they were they were having a baby and that he would have to share his room. His parents said that was more sensible than moving into a bigger house with more rooms. Now, what is the setting of the story? If you said Diego's home, you're correct. All right, let's see what happens next. It says Diego wasn't upset about having a brother or sister. It could even be fun if he didn't have to share his room. Right now, he had control over everything in his room, like the TV and the closet. How many of you would be able to give up control of the TV remote? Yeah, it's hard, especially if you like different things, right? How does Diego respond to the news that his parents were having a baby and he would have to share his room? Now, there's kind of two parts to this one, right? How did he feel about having a brother or sister? Yeah, he doesn't mind having the baby. How does he feel about sharing his room with a brother or sister? He's not very happy, right? He doesn't want to give control of his room. So he's worried about that. It says Diego thought suspiciously about what it would really mean to have a baby around the house. How can I share a room with someone who hasn't even gone through potty training? He wondered. What if the baby wants to watch nature shows all the time? Diego liked cartoons and he hated nature shows. What if the baby lets his pet iguana out of its cage? He worried. What if, when the baby gets older, he has more friends than me? Where would I go when they all came over? Diego, we're home, his dad shouted. Come here, we have a surprise. What could that surprise be? Yeah, maybe all of those can be possibilities. Let's find out. Diego ran in, wondering if this would be a really good surprise or something more ordinary, like pizza. Although I would be happy with pizza. Honey, we're having twins, his mom cried. What does that mean? They're having twins. Yeah. They're having two babies. What? Diego yelled. He immediately thought about living with two babies. They would gang up on him. He just knew it. They'd make fun of his pajamas. They'd eat all the pancakes at breakfast. They'd always get to sit together in the back seat. There were only two beds in his room. He knew he would be the one to have to sleep on the floor. But there are really two surprises. We can't fit all of you in one room, so we are going to build a new bedroom for you. Yes, Diego cried happily and jumped in the air. Now they can watch nature shows in their own room. What news do his parents share that changes how Diego feels? Yep, they're having twins. What else? And he's getting his own room. Yeah. Diego's parents looked at him curiously. He smiled shyly and said, I'll explain later. So, right before I stopped on the question, it says, why does Diego say now they can watch nature shows in their own room? He didn't have this conversation with his mom. It was all in his head, right? To himself. What does that mean? Yeah, he was worried about sharing his television with the new babies. He doesn't like nature shows, so this is a way the writer tells us that Diego is feeling better. Guys, you did a great job. Thank you for listening to my story. All right, read to you soon. Bye.